Hey kids, what time is it?
Hey, it's Edson with GeekTime TV. So I went to see this movie called Sound of Freedom on 4th of July, and I wanted to give a quick review. The first part of this video will be just a spoiler-free review of just what I thought about the movie, and then I'm going to get into more specific things about it that I want to talk about, and there might be some mild. There definitely probably will be some mild spoilers. But I'll definitely let you know when that starts, and then you can kind of like turn off the video if you don't want to get the spoilers. This movie is about the real life exploits of a man named Tim Ballard, who spent his career fighting human trafficking, mostly child trafficking. And This is not spoilers because this man is pretty well known for this. As a matter of fact, I've read about him about at least 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew this movie was eventually going to come out about him. So I knew what the subject matter was going to be, and I was definitely interested in checking it out. But once I went to that theaters and started watching it, I was just not prepared for it. It was just uh, very emotional, as you can imagine. This type of subject with child trafficking. I'm not ashamed to admit I had tears coming down a few times. Um, but what I was also very pleasantly surprised about is that this movie had a high production value, which for a mere budget of 25 million, I believe, it felt like a 100 200 million dollar movie. Um, the cinematography was great, the editing was great, the sound was great, the the script was well written. It was a story. I think it came in. This movie came in at just over 2 hours and 15 minutes. Very well written story. Just kept me interested in the entire time. The casting, the acting was really good on this. I knew Jim Caviezel was going to play the lead, Tim Ballard, and I was looking forward to that because I've always thought of Jim Caviezel as a great actor. But the supporting cast was great. Bill Camp is in this movie as in the supporting role. He did phenomenal. The child actors in this movie were just fantastic. Really really well done. Which means the directing was also very good because it might be obviously it's probably more difficult to try to get child actors to act. So obviously directing was very good in this too. And I just thought the whole thing was just just a great production, just from start to finish. I'm not someone who um, knows very much about the mechanics, the technical aspects of what goes into a movie. Keith, who you've seen on this channel do a lot of professional videos on, knows a lot more. He's in that field, and so I'm not an expert on that. But what I do know is that when I'm in that theater and I'm watching a movie, and from the minute it starts, I'm completely immersed in the movie, and I kind of forget everything else that's going on besides what's the actual movie, and then I realize I'm looking at my watch. It's 2 hours later, and it's like, where did that time go? I was just like inside it, immersed in that movie completely. That was my experience with this movie, and then when I have that experience, then I know it's a good movie, and that's all I know. I'm not good with explaining the technical aspects, but I know that it's a good movie based on just my experience, and this was it. And I just think and everyone can go see this movie. I hope everyone goes see this movie. Um, I also like to say that there wasn't any explicit scenes in this. Obviously, there's scenes where you have a child there, and an adult talking to the child, and you know where it's leading up to because that's this movie is about child trafficking, so you know what's going to happen with that child. But obviously, you don't see any of the explicit scenes about it. There wasn't that much also profanity, very little profanity. The violence was not over the top. There's some violence, obviously, because you have law enforcement against these just terrible people. selling children as slaves and abusing them. So some, but it was not just. It wasn't even. It wasn't gratuitous violence. It was just enough to let you know what was going on. So based on all of this, this is I highly recommend this movie for anyone could go see this movie, and I hope everyone see this movie because it's something that is very real, that is happening even now, and that people need to be aware that it's happening, so that we all can just participate in trying to just stop these heinous acts of abusing the children. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the um, the trailer for The Sound of Freedom to kind of like talk about some of the things in the movie as kind of so this part of the review is now going to move into some spoiler area of spoilers. There will be some spoiler. I'm going to try to keep it to a very minimum, but I just wanted to point out a couple of things that were just jumped out at me. Let's take a look at here.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
So like I said, the subject of the movie is Tim Ballard and played by Jim Caviezel, and he's obviously very successful. You could hear him say there he caught quite a lot of uh, pedophiles, and then he came to a realization that as much success as he's had, he also you know just realized that he wasn't actually trying going it wasn't getting him close to actually finding these children that he could rescue from this horrible you can't even call living existence. And he comes to the realization as much success as he's had, he's needs to actually go and try to rescue some of these kids. So what he does is he tries to gain the confidence of this pedophile. He pretends to be empathetic with him and to try to get some information on the sources where he can get a child who is caught in this, almost like he's posing as a potential customer for a child. So he's able to get that information from him, and just before he goes ahead and just arrests him, for child trafficking. I saw in an interview that Jim Caviezel kind of ad-libbed this line. It wasn't part of the script. He said, "Be better if you put a millstone around your neck," and it's a quote out of the Bible. I'm not going to get the exact quote. I know, so please hold off on getting on me on the comments if I don't get it right. But it's in the Gospels in the Bible, and it's Jesus is talking about. He says something like, "It's better that you put a millstone around your neck and throw yourself into the sea, than it is for you to go after these little." He says these little ones, which he means children, and basically he just that's the bottom line. It's like he said, it's better that you go ahead and kill yourself at the bottom of the sea by drowning, than going ahead and coming after children, and basically that kind of says it all.
Que también es verdad. Puedes ayudarme a encontrar mi hermana.
Te lo prometo.
So the source that from the pedophile shows up with a little boy. He intends it to be selling him off to Tim Ballard, who was posing as, and of course so he's supposed to come through the southern border of the United States to bring him in, and according to Tim, he's saying that that's how a lot of the kids get into the United States, caught in this child trafficking, is through the southern border. And so he's waiting there, and he's able to rescue this little boy. And the little boy turns to him and says, "My sister has also been taken." And he asks Tim to rescue his sister, which he promises him. And one of the things that Tim Ballard has said in an interview. I mean, you don't see this in the movie, but he's saying that even currently, right now, as I speak, in terms of how things are at our southern border, because it's so much easier to come in. What the traffickers are doing is they're sending 5, 6, 7-year-old kids by themselves to the border, and they have like this information on them for a potential sponsor. Once they get into the United States, so people are calling these so-called sponsors, and telling them, look, here's this kid. It was like, and of course the sponsor on the other line said, oh yeah, I'm expecting him or her, and the child is transported to this person and just left off there. There's no background check. There's so much going on at the border now that there's no background check on these so-called sponsors. There's no DNA test to see if they're related. And then the child is just let go with this and there's no checking on these children anymore. They're just let go, and then that's it. And it's a terrible situation. This is not anything political or anything like that. There shouldn't be anything political. Everyone should be should be fighting against something like this happening.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What we do?
You quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
So he what happens is in order to track down this girl, this boy's sister, he needs to go into another country. His leads send him into another country where she is, and he does not get authorization from his superiors to do that because it's outside the jurisdiction, and he doesn't know what to do. So he asks his wife. He calls his wife, and they're trying to figure out what he's going to do. Whether he's just going to stop looking for this little girl and come home and just forget about her, or but then she actually tells them, she's obviously personally invested in this as well, and she tells him, quit your job and go after him, go after her, which was just a tremendous commitment by him. Obviously, not he, by nature of his job, not only is he putting himself in danger with these horrible people, but it was a financial risk as well, because he's quitting his job with the government, this secure job, and I believe they said he was actually 10 months away from getting a full pension, and he gave that up because he made a promise to that little boy that he would find his sister, and this is just an incredible story.
She's a major operator.
So he does find some help. Not that he finds somebody who is very very wealthy to front some of this operation. He winds up finding these leads with these child traffickers, and he lures them in by promising them all sorts of money to bring in wealthy elite people for the child trafficking, and he pretends that he's also interested in it. And that's I just have to say that's probably this is just my personal opinion. That's got to be the hardest thing to do in these situations. He's got to meet these people, these terrible people that are just horrible people that are doing to these kids, and he's got to pretend to like them. He's got to greet them with a smile. He's got to pretend that he's a potential customer for these kids, for sexual abuse of these kids, and he's got to sit there and just schmooze them and be friendly to them until he can get them to bring the kids along so they can rescue them. And me personally, I know I could never do that, because it's like I could just see two simultaneous reactions coming out of me. It's just like just completely disgusted, where I have to like run to the nearest bathroom to just throw up at the thought of what is happening with these kids. And also at the same time, I would want to just throw myself across and wrap my hands around these people's necks and just strangle them until they're dead for what they're doing. And it just, I would never be able to pull this off because this undercover work, it's incredible. So yeah.
When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
So I'm not going to give any more details on this movie. There's a lot goes into him tracking this girl down, but not just her, but on his way he tries to save as many kids as he could. And I just love this line in the movie. It's by the character that's played by Bill Camp, who like I already said, he's really great acting in this. So he plays this. He used to be in the cartel. He was arrested. He did time, and then when he did his prison time, he decided that he's not going to go back to that life, that great life in the cartel, or taking advantage of people. He decided he's going to try to do some good by trying to save these people. So he kind of allies himself with Tim Ballard, and there's a point where he asks Tim, what why are you doing this? And the response is, that's another great line, is like, because God's children are not for sale. And then Tim asks this guy, why are you doing this? And then he gives that line that we just heard, because when God asks you to do something, you don't hesitate. And it's just an incredible, I just love that, both of those, probably one of the best lines of the movie. And the last thing just wanted to touch on is,
Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time with a child 5 to 10 times a day.
so yeah, what you heard there, unfortunately, is what happens. There's a bit of towards the end of the movie, you get this kind of I hate to even call them statistics, but the facts of what's going on, and how big this problem is, and that's the
God's children are not for sale.
there's that line that I was talking about. I just wanted to make sure that I got that in there. God's children are not for sale. They give you some alarming statistics, which is that this business is this child trafficking is like 150 billion with a B, criminal enterprises. It's surpassed arms dealing, and quickly overcoming even past drugs dealing, because as they said in the line in the movie, in the trailer here, you can only sell a bag of cocaine once, but you can you can sell a child 4 or 5 times a day while they're and for many years while they're children, and it's just a horrible situation. It's something that needs to be talked about, something that needs to make everyone aware, so that we could all be part of the solution. It's just completely horrible, what is going on. I just, as a human being, it's just so hard for me to wrap my mind around so many people out there being part of this, from the traffickers themselves to the end person who's looking to do these horrible things. It's just I don't know what more to say. It's horrible. So at the end of the movie, I just wanted to say this at the end of the movie, about a couple of minutes into the end credits, Jim Caviezel comes on to just do a quick little talk. He just wants to say that Angel Studios put this out. They didn't. It was very small budget, and there was no they don't have any. There was no money for marketing. The marketing is basically word of mouth. So people who go see the movie, and I, again, highly recommend everyone to see this movie, and please talk about it. This is how you can help. You just can spread the word to other people, and that's going to be basically the marketing of this movie, is just to make people aware, and the word of mouth. There's, like I said, I think we all have to be part of the solution. there's an organization that the person that this movie is based on, and it's that Tim Ballard started. It's called Operation Underground Railroad. If you feel like you can donate to them to help them, that'd be great. I know that right now, the way the economic conditions are with the inflation, so many things are so high priced. It's very hard to give donations. If you can't give donations, like Jim Caviezel said, spread the word. Talk to anybody, family, friends, and co-workers about this. It's a problem. It's something that needs to be talked about. Everyone needs to be aware of, and just put a light on it. If you have a prayer life, or even if you want to start praying now, this would be a great time to help think about these kids and pray for them. He also said, there's another thing he also says at the end of the movie, is that I found it was so impactful, is that he's saying that the heroes of this movie is not Tim Ballard or any of the other people trying to find the kids. The heroes are actually the kids themselves, specifically the boy and the brother and sister, but all the kids who are caught in this web of horrible treatment of them are the actual heroes of this. And if you have children at home, give them extra hugs and be happy, that be glad that they're safe in your arms, because not all children are safe. Okay, that's it for me for this. Like I said, I think that everyone should definitely go see this movie and spread the word. And thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.